Chapter 3, Earth's Got Talent, Dimensions. Hello, Carl Sagan. Hello, Thomas. I was not expecting you just yet. You are early. Yes, Carl. Before going to sleep, I set an intention to separate my subconscious mind from my conscious mind. So this time, when my body fell asleep, I was already disconnected and ready to find you. Carl, I must apologize for interrupting you in the middle of your lecture in this massive hall. Are these your students? Carl Sagan. Students, may I introduce you to Thomas. Thomas is currently manifesting as a volunteer working on the reset application for planet Earth and their surrounding suns. Planet Earth is one of the 8 planets that orbit around the Sun solar system. Their Sun solar system orbits around our Sun solar system called Arcturus in the constellation that people on Earth call Boots. Carl, I will meet you outside later when you have finished your lecture. Actually, Thomas, I have invited you here today as my guest speaker from Earth to assist these volunteers understand some of the reset developments on your planet. They have already read your first 2 chapters of the Grand Torus Energy Experiment. This looks like I'm standing on a stage for an America's Got Talent, AGT competition. Earth's Got Talent, EGT. Carl Sagan. If you would like to play it this way, then okay. We will, however, change the name to Earth's Got Talent, EGT. Thomas, just as a side, there is another EGT called Evolutionary Game Theory. EGT helps to explain the mathematics of spite, selfishness, altruism, and cooperation in Darwinian competition in nature. We describe this game as encompassing thinking, which will be further discussed in Chapter 6. What your planet is hooked on is the mathematics of classic game theory, CGT, which is based on the non-cooperative competition between adversaries with the need to win at all costs. This is seen in sport and greed in business without the consequences considered to the environment or the fellow humans. We call this duality thinking. This is further discussed in Chapter 6. Refer to the diagram. Carl Sagan, welcome to EGT. Could you please tell me your name, your age, and where you have come from? Hello, my name is Thomas. I am 68 years of age. I come from a town called Brisbane, Queensland, in Australia on planet Earth. Thank you, Thomas. So, you are a long way from home then, out there on Earth, a mere 37 light years from us here on Arcturus. 68 years of age sounds a bit old for a normal competitor on EGT. Are you nervous? She'll be right, mate, which means I'll wing it in Australian. Okay, Carl, yes, I am nervous. I have never stood up in front of so many people, if I can describe these fine energy light beings as people. I guess you're not here to sing a song like other indigo highly sensitive people from the Pleiadian star system who now dwell on Australia on your earth, such as Natalie Rise, One People, Joel Adams, Please Don't Go. So, Thomas, what is it you're here to do for us tonight? Carl, you sound just like Simon Cowell of AGT. Carl, I have to say, you have been my hero since 1980 when you, your third wife, Andrian, and Stephen Soter produced the TV series Cosmos, A Personal Journey. So tonight, Carl, I'm going to talk about the 7 Earth-space dimensions by adding Earth-time to create the 7 space-time dimensions from an Earth perspective. Carl Sagan, you were the first scientist who made sense to me. You could grasp the bigger picture of the Earth, the solar system, the universe, and source energy external to the universe. You seem to understand the whole journey from source through the universe and then back to source. Time seemed to have been struck and compressed for you. Shrunk. Time seemed to have been shrunk and compressed for you. Starting with a big bang, big white bang 13.7 billion years ago and going forward in the universe, disappearing in a big black hole in around 8 billion more years, did not seem to phase your brain. Quite frankly, I was very upset that on the 20th of December 1996, at age 62, you up and left the Earth. It was then, at the time of your death, that I set 3 new intentions. If it is to be, then it is up to me. The second was, I am created me, and the third is, I am sent me with love and divine light. Carl Sagan, I take it this will be your own composition? Thomas, yes, Carl. Slow down, Thomas. Stop being so nervous. Breathe, Thomas. Well then, Thomas, let us see what you've got. Good luck. Professor Carl Sagan, fellow students, distinguished guests, and decidedly beautiful, angelic-looking beings. It is an honour standing here with you in Carl Sagan's auditorium. On planet Earth, our modern Western scientists have become stuck in a level of consciousness where they are viewing or reviewing the universe from a point of view of the visible 5% matter described as 4th dimension, space-time. Space is measured by a length, a width and a height as space located or existing in a measure of Earth time. They are unable to see or measure the other 95% of the universe that they describe consists of dark energy and dark matter, and is described as the 5th dimension, liminal space. Liminal space is best described as a liminal deity like Iris in Greek mythology, or Mercury as one of the 12 Eternals in Roman mythology, similar to the Bardo death state in Tibetan Buddhism. There is a 6th dimension supernal space of finer energy in the universe, which consists with the 7th dimension eternal space consciousness of source energy or eternity external to the universe. As an extra note, the 7th dimension of consciousness includes the location of multiple universes. This talk will use the Earth space dimensions and Earth time in the explanations, and this will be described as space-time dimensions on Earth by our scientists. The purpose of this chapter, dear audience, before Carl Sagan can open my mind to the expanded possibilities of the 95% of the universe, he's asked me to give this lecture to summarize in one little chapter my left brain's life work of reading, research, and experience of what the universe's grand torus energy experiment could possibly mean. That is why, from my limited understanding as an accountant, this summary is called a short story of the grand torus energy experiment, and I could end in just this third chapter. I'm hoping that after I give this talk, that Carl Sagan will advance me in this competition of Earth's Got Talent to reawaken me to a bigger understanding of the 95% of the universe. The following chart summarizes my understanding of the 7 dimensions. The rest of the talk expands on this summary. This summary can be found on www.torusenergyexperiment.com. Chapter 3. Our mathematicians talk about mathematics without time, but our scientists talk about the mathematics plus time, and that's why it's quite confusing. And I've tried to summarize these differences between the mathematics and the science understanding of dimensions. See the chart. This chart shows the Earth space has a 0 to 6 dimensions from a mathematical point of view. By adding Earth time, we show that space-time has 0 to 7 dimensions. These above mathematical structures can be reviewed in the following chart below. Expansion from a dot to a tesseract of 4th dimensions in mathematical Earth space dimensions. This can be described as a scheme of construction of a hypercube up to 4th dimensions. See the chart. To start the explanation, I'm using just Earth space dimension mathematics of arithmetics and geometrics without using Earth time. So Earth space dimensions 0 to 6 dimensions mathematics. Oh, Professor Carl Sagan, I have been doing some homework. Let me share the research I have found to explain in simple forms and terms the 0, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th dimensions in Earth space dimensions without term. This is the red column in the table. So 0 dimension Earth space is considered to be a dot in mathematics. We can also call this dot source energy or 0 point energy. This dot is like neutral energy or energy stored in a battery or magnet with the switch turned off when the power is not flowing. When a battery is turned on, the energy flows out through the north or positive charged point around the torus energy field before returning through the south or negative or charged point back to the 0 point, dot or neutral energy position. Energy must flow from the dot of source energy back to the dot of source energy. This really is the summary of the full story of our energy journey through the grand torus energy experiment, source back to source. It is similar to the parable of the prodigal son or lost son as recorded in Luke chapter 15 verses 11 to 32. The son or energy leaves the father or source energy. He gets lost in a pigsty matter, eventually wakes up and returns home to the father or source energy. The Western scientists, to me, seem to have got stuck in the consciousness level of the pigsty matter at the fourth dimension of space-time. They cannot seem to see the possibility of source energy, zero-point energy, or simply the dot of zero dimension of Earth space. The 0 point can be seen in the mathematics of a Fibonacci sequence and spiral. The Fibonacci sequence equation is the expression of 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, 89, 144, and so on to infinity within the universe. The number 144,000 is notable for having been referred to in the book of Revelations 3 times. Revelation 7, 1 to 12, 12 tribes of 12,000 each, numbering 144, with clairsentient feelings from the heart. Revelations 14:1 with 144,000 clairvoyant skills of open sight through the pineal gland, and Revelations 14:3 with the clair mediumship skills to sing the or AUM with an open throat before the four living creatures. I'm sure there is more to understanding on this symbolism of 12 and 144. Luckily for us, who currently live in the universe, where we have another mathematical equation that takes us back from infinity of the Fibonacci sequence to the 0 point or dot or source energy. This is the fractal calculation and the Mandelbrot set. The journey starts from 0 to infinity expansion, followed by a reverse or a collapsing contraction back to 0. Let us move on from the 0 dimension for the moment. The first dimension, Earth space, is one line joining two dots. This is one length, just like the edge of a ruler or a piece of string. It is like a line of energy within a bar magnet, starting from the middle 0 point, going up to the top positive charged part, and then going down to the negative charged part. This is the beginning of duality of a top and bottom, or a positive charge and a negative charge. The second dimension, Earth space, is a little more interesting, where a width is added to a length and we end up with a four-pointed square or rectangle to form one side of the bar magnet. If we pulled two widths out from each end of the length points and joined them at one point, this would end up being a triangle. Similarly, if we joined two ends together, we would end up with a circle. Imagine if we were a square, a triangle, or circle living in a flat Earth society with no height, then the only directions we could move would be in the direction of a length or a width. The third dimension, Earth space, adds a height to the length and the width to produce a cube. So the world of a human is the world of an elongated tube. A full bar magnet has now come into existence. This becomes an 8-pointed structure. This is the dimension that the Western scientist world describes as dense matter. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. So when we build something, we transfer energy into a cubic matter. When something dies, it converts from matter back into energy. Fourth dimension space-time is when we expand the 8 points of a cube to produce a 16-pointed structure of a cube within a cube. This is a bit like looking in different directions in a house of mirrors or mirror maze. This structure is called a tesseract, a cube within a cube. Please review the excellent film made by Carl Sagan explaining the fourth dimension space mathematics now found on YouTube. I'll project this video onto the screen of the auditorium. Carl, in this video, you abruptly stopped explaining the fourth dimension, and I'm not sure you made it all that easy to visualize or understand the fourth dimension in Earth's space. Carl Sagan: yes, Thomas. 30 or 40 years ago on Earth, we did not have the necessary graphic tools to visualize a tesseract or cube within a cube in a mathematical structure. And that's a cube of a tesseract and a cube of a donut. When it came to my understanding of the fifth dimension, supernal energy, angelic Earth space, and the sixth dimension, source energy external to the universe of Earth space, my knowledge is limited to what I have read as a possibility. I am yet to experience these dimensions, but believe that we come full circle, as is described in the prodigal son story mentioned earlier. The fifth dimension Earth space is a space where there is a finer vibrational sound and light energy than is found in the fourth dimension tesseract. It is a transition location within the universe that connects with source energy external to the universe. This is also described as the supernal dimension. Source energy is the external energy or eternal energy that the universe floats and resides in. It is both external to the universe and within the universe, and is described as the sixth dimension Earth space and zero dimension of Earth space in full circle, as in a donut. Now, to summarize, the Earth space dimensions from a pure mathematical perspective without time, the Western sciences are stuck in the three-dimension Earth space mathematics of a cube. They are unable to measure the fourth dimension Earth space using three-dimensional cubic instruments. Now I'd like to add in 1 unit of Earth time to each of the equations of Earth space dimensions. Earth time. Thomas. Earth time is described as Coordinated Universal Time, UTC. It is measured at sea level and is maintained by atomic clocks adjusted for leap seconds. Just as a refresher, look at the chart from above again on the screen of the auditorium, where we add 1 unit of Earth time to the Earth space dimensions. We end up with space-time dimensions. Earth space dimensions, Earth time, space-time dimensions. By adding Earth time, we show that space-time has 0 to 7 dimensions now instead of 6 dimensions. We're now going to look at Western scientists' understanding of space-time dimensions, 0 to 7 dimension mathematics. Carl Sagan. I've been doing some research. Let me start with the term fourth dimension space-time. In 1908, Hermann Minkowski, Albert Einstein's former mathematics professor, joined the three dimensions of Earth's space with Earth time. He coined the concept of space-time in the fourth dimension for the Western world scientists. Space-time consists of a length, a width, a height in Earth time. For example, 9 a.m. Sunday the 1st of February in 1908 is an Earth, space and Earth time measure for the assassination of King Carlos I and his son Louis Philippe of Portugal. This may have been the significant event in 1908 that triggered the inspiration for Hermann Minkowski to join the dots to create space-time. Using an Old English idiom, King Carlos was in the wrong place at the wrong time. However, as an anachronism, Minkowski was in the right place at the right time to create space-time for all of us to use. In approximately 300 BCE, Euclid, an Athenian Greek mathematician, penned the Euclidean geometry text Elements. The core of the text is based on Euclidean Earth-space mathematics of a cube, or the geometry that we were taught in school. The Euclidean assumption was that movement travels in a straight line on a flat Earth. Einstein, in 1915, was the first Western scientist to show in his General Theory of Relativity, GTR, that physical space is non-Euclidean and follows curved movement, as it is seen in Torus toroidal energy fields, which hold the entire universe together. The flat Earth theory was replaced in 1915 by a curved Earth and curved universe theory. Carl Sagan. We understand these research points. Thomas, go on. Professor Sagan. I wonder why so many Western scientists are so desperately hanging on to the 2,500-year-old Euclidean belief in the geometry measurement of the 5% matter of space-time of the fourth dimension. It is my feeling that it is time to move on to the greater understanding and knowledge of the 95% reality of the universe described as the fifth dimension, sixth dimension, and seventh dimension of liminal space. Albert Einstein stated in his General Theory of Relativity that the curvature of space-time is directly related to the energy and momentum of whatever matter and radiation are present. Refer to the simple diagram below or on your screen. What is source energy for the Big Bang or Big White Bang? Let us have a little look at energy. Energy is a store of power, or a source of energy, or source energy that can be converted in form but not created or destroyed. The sun can be considered as the main source of sun radiant energy, electromagnetic EM radiation, for the survival of all forms of matter on the planet Earth. Let us consider that as matter, we are just a piece of converted energy that cannot be created or destroyed. So the energy in all matter and in our body as matter must have existed approximately 13.7 billion years ago at the commencement of the Big White Bang. Also, to create a Big White Bang, the energy must have come from a conversion of energy from a source, a store of power, or source energy. This thought is contrary to the Stephen Hawking's quotation below. Stephen W. Hawking, cosmologist, clearly demonstrated the reason why the Western world is so stuck in the fourth dimension of space-time with a statement as follows. The role played by time at the beginning of the universe is, I believe, the final key to removing the need for a grand designer or revealing how the universe created itself. Time itself must come to a stop. You cannot get to a time before the Big Bang, because there was no time before the Big Bang. We have finally found something that does not have a cause because there is no time for a cause to exist in. For me, this means there is no possibility of a creator because there is no time for a creator to have existed, since time itself began at a moment of the Big Bang. It was an event that could not have been caused or created by anyone or anything. So when people ask me if a God created the universe, I tell them the question itself makes no sense. Time did not exist before the Big Bang, so there is no time for God to make the universe in. It is like asking for the directions to the edge of the earth. The earth is a sphere. It does not have an edge, so look for it is a futile exercise. Stephen Hawking had a lot of credibility amongst the Western scientists, and I feel this could be a major cause of the limiting beliefs of our planetary thinking and consensus thinking. Kerry Packer came back from a near-death experience and said there was nothing in the afterlife. This closed the minds of many people who then became skeptics. So what is the universe made up of? At present, everything we see with our naked eye through a variety of telescopes and by our use of other Western world measuring devices is dark, dense matter, which accounts for approximately 5% of the universe. Western science currently believes that the rest of the 95% of the universe is made up of 72% dark energy and 23% dark matter, also known as lambda cold dark matter. I recently attended a show, Dark Universe, at the Brisbane Planetarium in Queensland, Australia. The write-up said, learn about dark matter, dark energy, and recent dramatic advances in our knowledge of the universe. Explore what is to come in the future of cosmology. Produced by the American Museum of Natural History, narrated by Neil deGrasse Tyson. Dare I say that we spent 40 minutes looking at a black screen on the dome of the planetarium, with pictures of telescopically measured scenes of the 5% matter of the universe. Not one picture of the fifth dimension 95% of the universe. I was very disappointed with the lack of learning outcomes. Thomas, let me just give you another example of what to look at. In chapter 2, Cardinal William Allen discussed that source energy uses the symbol of the tree of life, which produced many apple fruit-shaped fruits. Your universe represented just one Torus energy apple-shaped experience. Let me describe this in another way. You need a chicken to lay an egg. Now, just imagine that a female earth energy lives in the seventh dimension of source energy as a chook or chicken. Western scientists confirm that the universe's energy was created at a point of conception called a big white bang. The universe is like a chicken egg in gestation, with its 6 dimensions. It consists of an egg white and an egg yolk. In chapter 15, we'll be discussing the difference between nuclear fusion, as symbolized by the egg white, the 95% of the universe, and nuclear fission, as symbolized by the egg yolk, the 5% of matter. When the universe collapses, hatches, or cracks out of its shell, it will be a chook or chicken living again in the 7th dimension. To crack out of the shell of the universe, you first need to collapse back through a big black hole. Thomas, let us show you a Western scientific picture of the Big White Bang. A 3rd dimension view of the conception and expansion of the universe can be seen as below. The lambda, cold dark matter, accelerated expansion of the universe, Big Bang inflation and timeline of the universe. This accelerated expansion of the universe diagram is only a partial snapshot of the top half of the full torus or toroidal magnetic energy field as seen below. The universe is torus energy or a toroidal field, a full toroidal field. The picture of the universe above is a simple depiction of the fragile skin in which the universe resides during its gestation period, waiting to be hatched back into the 7th dimension. This is sometimes called the journey home to source energy. Wormholes and the Einstein-Podolsky-Rosen paradox of 1935. I understand the importance of the concepts of wormholes, but I have not yet experienced using a wormhole travelling a greater than speed of light. This may include collapsing of time and space as we measure it in the 4th dimension. So at this stage I merely include the mention of wormholes for the understanding of travelling in the 5th dimension. 6th dimension supernal space, connection to external source energy. Thomas. Professor Sagan, several years ago I intuitively came up with an integrative medical system for the treatment of disease in my remedial massage practice. This system included eternity as the 6th dimension. I used the Star of David with the 6 points. For the 6th point of eternity, I included 2 aspects. One was the inherited DNA record from 180,000 years of Homo sapiens. The second was the soul's record or Akashic record or energy record since the Big White Bang 13.7 billion years ago. As you know, energy exists forever and cannot be destroyed, but merely transforms in nature between one dimension and another. See the diagram below. Carl Sagan, would you mind if I interrupt a moment here, Thomas? This will also require you to explain the concept of eternity and the external source energy. Finite and infinity are all measures of the universe that we know will expand and then collapse. Anything that will collapse or die cannot be considered as a measure of eternity. Now, with further reading, after I prepared this chart, I agree with you that my description of eternity is just describing finite and infinite measures of the 6 dimensions of the universe and not the 7th dimension measure of eternity. Yet I'm unable to explain further how the connection of the 6th dimension with the 7th dimension works. I have read that some special aspects of the sixth dimension are its sound and light. The sound and colour of Om or AUM used in meditation may provide some of the answers. How the seventh dimension creates a universe from a big white bang. To create a universe out of source energy could well be a little like a solar prominence or solar flare as it comes out of the sun. Because the surface of the sun is so big compared to the smallness of the flare could not be able to conceive the spherical nature of the sun. You would just be able to see a red background. I would put it to you that as an observer within the universe of matter, we are unable to conceive the shape of source or background energy from which the big white bang exploded. As Albert Einstein's quote on the top of the chapter states, no problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it. Conclusion for this speech. Thomas. The Western scientists are having trouble measuring the fifth dimension space-time using fourth dimension space-time tools. Similarly, they are also having trouble measuring the sixth dimension and the seventh dimension using fourth dimension space-time tools. I will conclude this interchange with a summary. We have used both mathematics of arithmetics, geometrics, and time to explain the 0 to 6 dimensions of the universe and the seventh dimension of source energy in which we all exist. Professor Carl Sagan, fellow students, distinguished guests, and decidedly beautiful, angelic-looking beings, I'm currently a volunteer working on the reawakening application for the planet Earth. It has been my honour to share with you these concepts that we are grappling with to bring a greater harmony and coherence within the individual, within the society, and the environment. We are reawakening our connection with the fifth dimension space-time, sixth dimension space-time, and a transition journey home to the seventh dimension of source energy. This is a reawakening and an ascension. Carl Sagan. Congratulations, Thomas. I am going to ask the audience to vote with a waving of their hands to confirm if you deserve to proceed to the next round in Earth's Got Talent. The audience started waving their hands and sending up this beautiful surrounding energy of gratitude. Oh, my heart feels full of light, as if it is melting. Thank you. Namaste. Thomas. It looks like you are through to the second round of experiencing the short story and scribing your findings in the Grand Torus Energy experiment. Carl and the audience, thank you for your vote of confidence. If I have been voted out tonight, then this series of lucid dreams would have indeed been just a 3-chapter short story. Carl, would you mind if I leave now as my head, my heart and my gut minds are spinning? I am getting the wake-up call from my conscious body to be ready for the first massage of the day. Carl Sagan, when you get home, I would like you to do some yoga sessions with your favourite highly sensitive indigo child, yoga teacher with long feet, a rubber band flexible body, and a heart of gold. Yes, you know who I mean. Yoga with Adrian on YouTube. I want you to do the movement medicine energy practice, yoga with Adrian, and reunite with your breath, 19-minute breath practice, yoga with Adrian. The yoga will enhance your connection with the fifth dimension through the calming of your chakra points, particularly at the heart or thymus, using the cobra pose. In addition to yoga, we acknowledge your intuition skills of listening through your lucid dreaming state and formulating your experiences into Google English while having long, warm showers in a meditative state. Adrian has a great companion dog named Benji. Having a relationship with a dog or a cat is often easier than having a relationship with a fellow human full of duality thoughts and who answers back to defend their position of right and argue against your position of being wrong. Stay well, Thomas. I feel you are making excellent inroads on simplifying these concepts with love and divine light. Carl, I have found these concepts of the dimensions quite challenging to grasp and then describe. I'm sure these concepts will become clearer as we go along in the subsequent chapters. You stay well too, Carl. I will write all this down when I awaken for the day. My action plan. Include yoga with Adrian, exercises and physical yoga classes into my weekly schedule.